C-A C-C-1 C-C C-A C-C C-C-C-A Nah
Hello. Very nice to see you in person at your campus. Oh, okay. Uh, Students will present here, here. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. I will manage it. Okay. Do you remember my face? Okay, great. So, uh, briefly, let me introduce myself. As you know, my name is Professor Bok-Yeong Park in Korean. Okay. So, usually, Korean names are composed of three letters, okay, like Kim Soo-hyun or BTS is not Korean name, but but sometimes two letters, okay. The first one is family name. This is family name, okay. This is my given name. Actually, the actual Korean pronunciation is not Park, but the real pronunciation is close to this one, Bak, Bak, okay, Bak. Do you know the Korean male actors with who is the most popular or the famous Korean Kim Jin-hee, Kim Je 김재리, 재민, 재진, sorry, 김지수, I don't know, sorry. This is Kim Ji-soo. Okay, so the English character is Kim, but actual pronunciation is G-I-M. Kim, not Jim. Kim. Okay. Okay. So anyway, now I'm teaching at the Graduate School of Pan-Pacific International Studies of Kyung Hee University. And about 10 years ago, I joined the Kyung Hee University. Before then, I worked at the National Research Institute. And as you know, my major is economics. Okay, this is my third visit to your campus. Last year, I came here, and maybe about 3 years ago, it was my first visit to Pasundan. Okay, for the first 7 years or 6 years, I taught at graduate school. Suddenly, I had a chance to work at the Korean government as economic affairs advisor to the Korean president. So I worked with the Korean president for 1.5 years, and then I came back to my department. Okay. Today, we have last students' presentations. The topic is Korean culture industry, right? So, who is the first presenter? Okay, first, let's begin with your presentation. Please come forward. Okay, please start. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
From Kyung Hee of South Korea. We greatly appreciate your presence and the valuable insight you bring to our discussion today. We hope you find this presentation informative and interesting. Okay, now let's start with the explanation from me of the first topic about Korean culture. I will talk about Korean culture, which is a unique blend of ancient tradition and modern innovation. We can see the slide. Starting with history, Korean culture has evolved over thousands of years, influenced by Buddhism and Confucianism, shaping its societal values. I think quite a lot of people have tried Korean food here. Food like kimchi and bulgogi are very famous. Korean food philosophy emphasizes balance and health, which is reflected in taste and presentation. Korea has a very rich art scene, from traditional like pansori to modern like K-pop. And of course, we all know about K-pop like BTS. Korean art shows extraordinary diversity and creativity. Hallyu or Korean Wave has globalized Korean culture through dramas like Squid Game and music groups like BTS, sparking worldwide interest in the Korean language and tourism. Korean culture doesn't just stop at entertainment. Interest in the Korean language is increasing, and many people are interested in visiting Korea. It is a blend of ancient heritage and modern innovation that continues to develop and influence the world. For the next, Korean cultural products. Korean cultural products include dishes or food such as kimchi and bulgogi, global dramas, K-pop beats, and cosmetic and skincare innovation. The products showcase Korea's rich cultural heritage that resonates through the world, captivating with its blend of tradition and modernity. The next, the history of Hallyu development. We can see from the following slide, the development of the Hallyu industry in South Korea began to address the 1997 economic crisis. The government initially attempted to develop the food industry but then shifted to cultural products. The basic law for cultural industry promotion, policy and funding of 148.5 billion US dollar support the export of K-pop and K-drama. The term Hallyu has been known since 1999 and gained popularity in East and Southeast Asia. And last, government policies aim at globalizing Korean culture by modernizing traditional cultural heritage, creating professionals in the art and cultural field, and expanding cultural service in local area. The next, still discuss about the history of Hallyu development. We can see again is mentioned here. The success of Hallyu is evident from its global fanbase reaching 156.6 million by the end of last year. This phenomenon has both South Korea brand value and strengthened its position as a leading exporter of cultural goods in Asia. And here mentioned significant GDP growth in South Korea since the late 1980s has supported the development of Hallyu. K-pop and K-drama continue to capture global attention with growing fanbase worldwide. And the last, government and stakeholders recognize the strategic importance of sustaining and expanding Hallyu in the digital era, while considering potential risks in social, cultural, historical, and diplomatic aspects. I think that's all from me. The next discussion of the material will be my partner, Nur Patwa.
Okay, the next material, which is the influence of the Hallyu phenomenon in Indonesian culture. First, food. Korean food has become readily available in Indonesia, seen in restaurants, supermarket, and street food. The popularity of dishes like kimchi, bibimbap, and tteokbokki, both my media and influencer, has led local business to offer more Korean food option. And second, fashion. Many young in Indonesia, especially teenagers, are adopting Korean fashion and makeup as part of their daily lifestyle. The wide availability of South Korean skincare and cosmetic product has made Korean aesthetic a major influence in their fashion and beauty choice. And the next slide, education. This is third. The Korean web has sparked interest in Korea among Indonesia teenagers, increasing their desire to study Korean language culture. Several Indonesia now offer Korean language and culture program. And the last, consumptive behavior. K-pop fans buy album, accessories, photocards, and other merchandise, a part of collecting hobby driven by desire. Despite high cost and a luxurious lifestyle, they see it as supporting their favorite idol. And the next slide, the current web Indonesian has created opportunity for cultural exchange with South Koreans, and in 2015, both countries established cooperation in broadcasting for cultural exchange. The high enthusiasm for Korean entertainment in Indonesia led to a collection aiming to popularize Indonesian culture in Korea, especially in broadcasting. And the next material is which Korean food. Interest in Korean culture in Indonesia has led to the popularity of Korean restaurant and cafe, especially among young K-pop and K-drama. Cities like Bandung have developed Korean culinary tourists, with restaurants in Jakarta and Bandung often crowded. Social media, particularly Instagram, play a role in promoting Korean food, influencing around 16% of dining decisions. By 2023, the Korean food market in Indonesia was valued at around $300 million, with popular items including instant noodle, tteokbokki, ramyeon, and fresh products like strawberry and shine muscat. And this is import data for Korean in Indonesian. Product pasta, noodle instant, and rice very smelly. If you look at this data in 2018, high imports in the years were South Korean amounting 18,000 US dollar. Then in 2019, amounting to 25,000 US dollar, and the highest was still South Korean, as well as in 2020, amounting to 16,000 US dollar, and 2021 amounting to 14,000 US dollar, and finally in 2022 amounting to 16,000 US dollar. From this data, it can be seen that South Korea is the highest importer of instant noodle, pasta, and rice very smelly product in Indonesia, followed by China, and then Japan, and plus Malaysia. And the next slide. This is Korean food that is popular in Indonesia. There are kondok mozzarella, garlic bread, kimbap, tteokbokki, odeng, ramyeon, hotdog, bung opang, twigim, yangyam tongdak, and tteokbokki hotdog. And this is a Korean food product. This is instant noodle, and this is tteokbokki in Indonesia. And the next slide will explain is miso.
And the next material is Korean beauty product in Indonesia. Korean beauty product in Indonesia very popular because customer that Korean skincare is made for, because customer believe that Korean skincare is made from high quality and natural ingredients. There are several Korean beauty brands such as Some by Me, Kyung Hee, Natural Republic, Etude House, and Innisfree. Korean skincare products such as toner, moisturizer, serum, and sunscreen, while popular Korean cosmetic products such as baby cream, cushion, foundation, and lip tint. And here I have a product. It is a moisturizer from Natural Republic and mist toner from Kyung Hee. And the next graphic for popularity of South Korean beauty product in Indonesia from 2018 to 2022. In 2018, the popularity of Korean beauty was 47%, and in 2019 it increased to 58.2%, and in 2020 it increased to 63.6%. However, in 2021 it decreased to 31.2%, and in 2022 increased in 59.8%. Revenue of the Korean beauty product in Indonesia from 2018 to 2022 with a forecast until 2032. Revenue from Korean beauty continue to increase from 2 years. Although there was a decline in 2020 due to the COVID-19 case, according to the prediction result in the next 10 years, the revenue from Korean beauty will increase from 382.08 million US dollar in 2022 to 935.77 million US dollar in 2032. Import data of skincare and cosmetic in Indonesia. The following is a graphic of import data of skincare and cosmetic in Indonesia in 2022. Rank first is by China, second by Korean Republic, third by France, fourth by Thailand, and the last by United States of America. And that's all from me. Thank you. The next material will be explained by Siva Maulida Putri.
The next material is the impact of Korean Web on Indonesia economy. The first impact is IKCPA, or Indonesia-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. IKCPA is a free trade agreement between Indonesia and South Korea that include tariff elimination for 95% of South Korea product and 92% of Indonesian products. This will expand access for Indonesian goods to South Korea and also to increase the value of Indonesian export. And the second impact is economic cooperation. South Korea has strengthened economic cooperation with Indonesia, with around 2,000 South Korea companies in Indonesia playing an important role in the economic partnership between the two countries. One Korean company that has a significant impact on the Indonesia economy is Samsung. Samsung present in Indonesia will payment of tax to Indonesia, and the tax that can be used to various development program in Indonesia. And Samsung production in Indonesia also contributes to increase the value of Indonesian export. And the last of impact is increased sales of local products, and using K-pop artists become a brand ambassador for local product often attract consumer to buy, especially for K-pop fans, because the products usually come with merchandise like photo card. And for the example is Ultra Milk is an Indonesian drink product. Ultra Milk made Stray Kids for being their brand ambassador. And the next material is Korean Web success factor. The first factor is global popularity of Korean cultural products, and the first product is K-pop. K-pop artists have many fans from all around the world, and sales of merchandise like album, photo card, and other merchandise, as well as their concert, greatly affect to South Korea export earnings. And the second product is drama or movies. K-drama attract people of all age around the world, be it young or old, and with easy access to platform streaming, many people to watch Korean drama and or Korean films. And the second factor is cosmetic and fashion products. The style of fashion and beauty product that popularized by Korean celebrities can influence many people, especially young people, to follow the style of idol they like. This make an increase in sales of fashion and beauty products in Korea. And the next is technology and social media. The spread of the Korean web is amplified by digital platforms such as YouTube or VLive, which allow Korean artists to interact directly with their fans. And this interaction with this platform make it easy to spread the Korean web to different parts of the world. And the next is food and culinary culture. Korean food that is often seen on digital platform or consumed by Korean artists attracts the curiosity of fans and encouraging them to try it. And this is why Korean food now so popular. And the last is Korean government support. Korean government support international cooperation with other countries, including Indonesia, in the fields culture or education or tourism, has allowed the Korean web to become as popular as it is today. And that's all the material and the conclusion of this material. Korean culture and goods in Indonesia is the Korean web has caught on in Indonesia and has had a significant impact on Indonesian culture, especially among teenagers, by influencing their preference. And today, Korean food and beauty products are very popular in Indonesia, making them easy to find in the local market. These Korean products have impacted the Indonesian economy as reflected in the IKCEPA agreement, and the success of the Korean web has also impacted South Korea itself. Okay. This is the presentation that we have delivered. Thank you for all your attention and participation today. We hope this presentation will be useful for all of you guys and as well as for us. And culture is the bridge that connects us all. Let us continue to learn about the diversity around us. That's all from us. Thank you so much. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Very excellent presentation with Korean some products like the noodle and the Korean cosmetics. Okay. So I think you have more knowledge about Korean cultures than me because I don't know who are the members of BTS, but you know. Okay, so but let me explain more about the history of Korean culture and how it became developed. Okay, how it had the competitiveness at the world market. First, let's think about the Korean cultural product. Maybe, do you enjoy the Korean drama? Have you seen the Korean drama? Through what? Through Netflix or YouTube? Netflix. Have you also watched the Korean film? Oh, what film is the most famous in Indonesia? Exuma. What is Exuma? I don't know. Okay. Who is the most popular Korean actor? Kim So-yoon. Kim Soo-young? Kim Soo-young. Kim Soo-young? Right? This is right? Yes. This is Korean letters, Kim Soo-young. Okay. So Korean drama and Korean films. And do you enjoy Korean pop? Yeah. BTS is the most famous. And what group is the second popular? Most Blackpink? Ah, Blackpink. Blackpink. Okay, so I don't know K-pops. Okay. Also, Korean. In some countries, Korean cartoons are also very famous. Cartoons. And Korean video game, internet game is also very popular. Okay. These, they are all kind of content or the content industry, or it's called the creative industry. Creative industry. Okay. This is the start of a Korean wave or Hallyu. First, Hallyu, right? So Hallyu. Do you know the meaning of Hallyu? Hallyu is a Korean word. Okay, so English interpretation of Korean wave. Okay. In Korean, there Hallyu. Here, Han means Korea. Korean. Ryu means wave. Okay. So wave means a cultural wave. This Hallyu, or the Korean wave, started with this content industry, particularly Korean pops and the Korean drama. Okay. It started as in your presentation, started from late 1990s, about 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, the Hallyu started. Now this Hallyu expanded to Korean food, Korean beauty, and Korean fashion. Okay. They are not content, but this is manufacturing sectors. But these manufacturing items also relate to Korean culture. Okay, so they are all Korean culture industries. This big boom of Korean culture is very surprising to Korean people, even to Korean peoples. Okay, why? Particularly to my generations. When I was at the college, at your age, about 40 years ago, we watched a lot of American movies. We watched the Hong Kong movies. We enjoyed the Japanese cartoons and the Japanese animations, right? So then the Korea's cultural product had no competitions, okay? So American products were the Japanese animations, Japanese products were, we thought that's better than Korean products, okay? We never imagined that the Korean cultural product would be popular in the world markets. Never imagined. So there are so many studies about how Korean cultural products became popular in the world. What is the success factors? Okay, so now you think that the popularity of Korean culture is for granted, but it is academically very interesting issues. At first, Korea achieved competitiveness in manufacturing. Like the first textile or the garment or clothing, Okay, this is just a manufacturing, but most of textile clothing were designed by foreigners, only manufactured in Korea because then Korea's wage was very cheap, so we had very strong cost competitiveness. And then Korean companies started to develop their own technology, and so Korean industrial structure became upgraded step by step. So these industries are relatively simple, right? So this industry moved to next to the automobiles, like shipbuildings, finally semiconductors, okay? Now the mobile phone, okay? Now even aircraft, blah, 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 okay? They are all nevertheless manufacturing sectors, okay? But now we have new competitiveness even in service sectors, like the tourism and like the contents industries, okay, making drama, making films, okay. Those products are not tangible or an invisible product. Those products is called service products, right? So how could Korea develop those industries? That is the interesting questions. Where is my file? Yes, and maybe Korean industrial development. Oh, this is So we asked the foreigners, what was your first image when you think about the Korea? The first image, the recent survey, that was the Korean pops. Korean pop. Next one is Korean food. Third is Korea's IT industries. Okay? So in that sense, Korean pop is better known to foreigners than the Korean semiconductors. This is the growth in the Korean wave fans in the last 10 years. Now the number of Hallyu fans is 156 million, steadily increasing in different countries. The number of fan clubs also increasing, but recently slightly decreased. First, we can divide the development of Hallyu or Korean wave into four phases, or the four stages. First stage started at 1997, and about for 10 years. Korean wave started with the Korean drama, television drama. It was first introduced to China and also to Japan. Okay, so how Korean drama became popular with the Chinese and the Japanese? I think, as you know, because of the cultural similarity. China and Japan is the closest country to Korea, right? So we shared some cultural background. So drama is a kind of the storytellings, not simple like the music, okay? It is about the story. The story should have the sympathy among audience, right? Among watchers, to get a sympathy in need of cultural background, okay? So, like the American drama, American people, yes, they are very interesting and very active and very fascinating, but nevertheless, there is no deeply shared culture, the background, right? But in Korean economic development was very fast in them. It means that only a short period ago, Korea was also poor, so Chinese people can have the same feeling about the poverties and the poor conditions and the very strong family ties. Okay, so based on the background, Korean drama first became popular in China. That is the first phase. It means that it started with the Korean drama. Next, the second phase started from the 2010. The second phase, the leading sector was Korean pops, music, okay, like the girl groups and the boy groups, okay. So now, the Korean pop became first popular in China, okay. So very active and very dynamic, but not traditional, very westernized and very like the fantastic. Okay, so that is the second phase. Okay? I think it is related due to the increase in Chinese income level. So Chinese young people became more educated and their living conditions or income level increased. Now they could enjoy the more westernized products. Okay, so Chinese, the young people became less interested in the traditional culture. Okay, they were looking for more modernized tradition. It was applied by Korean culture. And third phase started from the early 10s. The third phase, that is again the popularity in Korean drama and the Korean culture. And also Korean music became popularized over the world, not only in Asian regions. Do you know the Psy, Gangnam Style? Yes, Gangnam Style. So Gangnam Style became popular not in China, but in the United States. Okay, so it means that the regional expansion of Korean the culture, not confined to Asia, but to other regions. Okay, and also this is related to the new media. Here in Korean drama, first it was spread through the television, where the satellite televisions, okay? But in Gangnam Style, became popular through the social media, like Twitter or YouTube, okay? So when we use the social media, the spread or the dissemination of cultural product became faster than before. Okay, so without any television, TV sets or satellites, they can enjoy the culture through the mobile phone. Okay, so in that sense, the spread, Korean culture spread is closely related to the digitalizations in the media. The more recent trend, that is the last stage or stage 4. Stage 4, Korea's like the film contents became popular. Okay, so like in Korea, the 기생충, do you know this film? This film, yeah, Pesticide, won the, I think, the Academy Award. Okay, so as the best film. So, and also, do you know the Squid Game? Squid Game also became popular at the OTT or Netflix. Okay, now Korean cultural contents became world class, top world class at the film, and also Squid Game is spread through the OTT. Do you know the OTT or Netflix? It is thanks to the new media. Okay, so there are so many success factors. Okay. This is the YouTube views of BTS by country. The biggest view in Japan, next India, third your country, Indonesia, BTS. And next to Mexico, United States, Philippines, Brazil, Thailand. It shows that BKM is not only the Asian, became popular not only in Asia, worldwide. Okay, so this is the Pesticide, the best movie at the Academy Award. The largest income came from the United States and Japan and France and Britain and Germany. Okay, so this is the total export of Korean content industries. Content industries means that film, drama, and the cartoons were the video games. Okay. About 10 years ago, the size was 5 billion, but 2020, it doubled, more than doubled, 12 billions. Okay, 12 billions. Rapid increase in export. So in the past, the Korean export was driven by manufacturing sectors. Now, Korean content industry is also an important source of export income. So among content industries, the biggest export is from video game, in the export. Okay, so the largest importer of Korean video game was China. So there are so many workers in video game creations and productions. Okay, but because of bad diplomatic or the political relation between Korea and China, so China, the import to the China fast declined. Okay, so in that sense, the Korea's content industry is very sensitive to political environments. Okay, now Korean content industries are moving to non-Chinese regions like your country and the Western countries. Next important content industry is music, broadcasting, and animations. Okay, let's compare the export of content industries with other Korean major industries. Semiconductor, as you know, the biggest export item in Korea. Its total export size is about $100 billion. Content industry is $10 billion, about 10% of the semiconductor industries. Although it is 10% of semiconductors, but culturally, it has more influential to the world. This is the share of the cultural content industry as a percentage of GDP. In the United States, content industry accounts for about 6% of its GDP. In Korea, about 20 years ago, it accounts for only 4%. Now it accounts for 5%, steadily increasing, so continuously growing. Okay, let me skip this part. Cultural content industries overall indicators. Total sales are this is a Korean won, 130 trillion Korean won, and the export size is, as I said, $12 billion. The total employment size is 642,000 workers. Okay. So, Korean culture, as I said, is a part of the Korean industries. So we can look at the Korean culture from the industrial perspectives. As an industry, there is the supply chain, where the production chain in culture, where the content industry. First, the content should be created, right? Created. We have to make storytelling. We have to make a plot, where they have to make they have to design the dancings. Okay. Next, that is the creation of new ideas. That is the first stage. Second, the stage should be realized, should be manufactured as a product. Okay, like the girl groups, or should be made as a film, should be made as a drama. That is the production stage. Okay, should be produced. Third, those products should be distributed to customers, right? So that is the dissemination stage. Or they can perform at the stage. That is the exhibition. The last one is consumption. Okay, finally, customers consumes those products. So this is the supply chain of content or creative industries. Okay. So for better creation, what is necessary? First, they need the ideas. For making films and the drama, they need the stories. Okay, this is the most creative stage. Second, the production. We need skilled laborers, right? Sometimes we need the management skills of cultural product. Okay, so for the productions, we need more qualified laborers, or the more experienced workers. Okay, for disseminations, we need advertisement, or we need distribution network, global network. We have to sign a contract with global distributors. Okay, so this is an example of success factors of Korean wave, as in the case of film and the drama. First, Korea has the production capacity. Okay, so using the digital platforms, distribution is made through the digital platforms. Okay, but traditionally, the distribution was through the contract with the cinemas. But now we don't make the contract with the cinemas. So, okay, we can distribute it through the YouTube or the Netflix. Okay, and also in the production of films, Korea has still cost competitiveness. So now, recently, Netflix invested a lot of money in Korea for the production of contents. Why? If they make the film or the drama in Korea, then they can reduce the production cost. So Korea's average production cost is just 20% of the United States. If it is made, the drama is produced in the United States, if the cost is 100, then in Korea just 20. Okay, so still the price of the actor is cheaper, and the staff, drama staffs, also less costly. And the second is the excellency or the variety in content or the storytellings. Okay, there are so many possible stories in Korean history. Okay. And like Korean War and the generation gap or the conflict and the family cultures. Okay. And sometimes Korean film or drama are based on the webtoons or the web novels. Web novel. Web means that, so there are so many young novel writers. They are not known to the world, but that they can write new novel, where they can draw new comics, and then they post their comics or the novels at the digital platforms. Okay, because there is no entrance fee or the barrier, no barrier. Okay, they want to introduce their product to people. Okay, so there are hundreds of thousands novel writers and the comics makers. So among those so many possible candidates, several novels and the comics became popular. Okay, once it is popularized, then the comics and the novels can be made as drama or films. Okay, that is a lot of source of stories. So that is one source and the multi-use. One source or multi-use means that first it was created as cartoons, and second it is created as drama. Third it is created as films. Okay, the source is the same, but the different modality of the contents. Okay. And as you said, also through the social media, now actors or the singers can communicate with the fans, or that is a bilateral communication between the celebrities and the fans. So in the disseminations, this dissemination is, as I said, the relation with the digital development. First, the dissemination was through the television and the satellite, next through the streaming and the digital contents, and next to the download word finally through the social network and the recently OTT. So very quickly responding to the new dissemination platforms, Korean industries are very actively utilizing those chances. And last one is Asian market is fast growing. As I said, now the Indonesia is one of the fastest growing economies. It means that your demand for cultural product is fast increasing, and Korea is one of the suppliers. About 20 years ago, the main demander for Korean product was China, because China was fast grown, right? So the rapid economic growth in Asian region is one of the important background of Korean cultural industries growth. Do you have any question? No? Last, let me introduce the digital economy of Korea. So one of the background of the Korean culture industry is the development in digital economy in Korea. First, now most of the world people are using internet or the mobile phone and the mobile industry the instrument. But about 20 years ago, Korea was a country which first introduced the high-speed internet. Okay, Korea is the one of the countries most developed in digital infrastructure. Okay, so let's take a look at the internet usage rate. In Korea, the internet usage rate, Korea is the ranked fifth, and the 92% of the Korean population are using the internet. And also, Korea introduced a nationwide high-speed internet network for the first time in the world, right up to the late 1990s. Then the internet was first introduced, but most of the countries use the internet through the telephone line, fixed line. The speed was very slow, okay? But then Korean government decided to install the high-speed internet network nationwide, okay? So then when foreigners came to Korea, they were so surprised that the speed of internet was very fast. Okay, so in that sense, Korea was the early adapter in digital economy. Early adapter. If new technology is first developed, then Koreans were the Korean society first introduced, very fast introduced and observed. Okay, so because of certain attitude, world businessmen or the world companies thought that Korea as a kind of the test bed. New technology was first first tested in Korea among Korean consumers. Okay? They thought that if the new technology became successful in Korea, then they believed that the technology could be successful in worldwide. Okay? This is the smartphone penetrations. Korea's smartphone penetration rate is the second highest in the world. The first one is Iceland. If we look at the ICT means that Information Communication Technology Development Index. Korea ranked always the top, first or second. Most of the administrations where the economic activities and the bankings, where the education or entertainment is conducted through the digital platforms. Software and content development, it was already explained. This is the employment in digital economy is also fast growing. Already the Korean waves. As I said, one of the very promising sector in the content industry is video game. Recently, Korea's e-commerce market is also fast growing, particularly in the middle of COVID-19. I think almost same in your country, right? So online shoppings where the e-commerce sector is fast growing. Okay, so in that sense, now in some sectors, e-commerce where the online market is growing faster than in Korea, I think. Okay, so usually in the development of industries, we think that the simple manufacturings, and then service, and then digital. So usually we can think that the industries are growing by step. First, second, and the third. But recently, this sequential stage can be reversed or can be overtaken by some countries. Can skip some stages, okay? They don't follow the first, second, third. Sometimes, okay, they go through the first, the second, and then skipping and the third or first, they can directly go to the five, okay? This is called leapfroggings, okay? Like a flow, the jump. So now your economy in some sectors is experiencing leapfroggings. Okay? It means that in some sectors, your development or your industries may be better than in Korea. The same in comparison between Korea and Japan. Usually, always we follow the Japan. Japan was always the first learners. Okay, but recently, when Japan is in 3, we were in 2. Okay, but in the recent period, we can jump this stage. This is the kind of the catch-up process, the recent catch-up process. Okay. So even in e-commerce markets, at first Korea was the first learners, but now you are countries where your industries may catch up rather fast, rather for learners than Korea. One good example is Grab. Grab, you know, the very widely used Grab service in Indonesia, right? But we have also a similar service, but I think in Korea it is less developed than Grab. Okay. Any question? No? So I think you have more knowledge or information about Korean industries than me. So about that topics, let me wrap up here. And after 10-minute break, we will I will talk about the history of Korean economy. So how Korean economy was developed step by step. Okay, so see you soon in 10 minutes break. Thank you. Still, I have you here? Okay, so regarding the economic systems, we adopted capitalism. The basic principle of capitalism is protection of private ownerships. Okay, but what about the socialism, the principle of socialism or communism? Communism denies the private ownerships. Okay, so communism or socialism believe that the ownership should belong to the community or the state. That is collective ownerships. But in capitalism, it is individual or private ownerships. Okay, because we followed the U.S. rules or the U.S. systems, new system protected individual or private property. Okay, this is very important. And in this period, one notable policy was land reform. Land reform. What is here? Land reform means that the redistribution of farmland. Okay. Here, then Korea was mainly agricultural society. Most important asset or wealth was farmland. Okay, farmland. So if farmland is unevenly distributed, if it is mostly owned by small number of big farmers, okay, so it may cause very serious economic inequality, right? So only there are few large farm owners, and the majority is land lease or the small farm owners. Then it could be so serious social discontent or dissatisfaction. Okay. To remove those social discontent or the unhappiness, United States and the Korean new government decide to redistribute the farmland more evenly. Okay, more evenly. It is interesting. It is this redistribution of land, farmland, is a kind of the violation of private property right. Okay, so if they pursue the private property protections, they should not redistribute. But in this, then there was so strong demand for farmland by land lease farmers, so U.S. and the Korean government decide to accommodate the people's the demand for farmland. Okay, if they haven't redistributed, then more people can be attracted to communism. Already, North Korea like redistribute the farmland, and the farmland was collectively managed and owned. So most of the South Korean farmers already got such a news. So they also wanted to get farmland. So U.S. decided the redistribution. Okay. This land reform became a base for more equal the asset distribution. Okay. Thanks to the land reform, Korean society became more equal. More equal. Now, former land lease farmers also could get their own farmland, although the size is small. Okay, but Korean people or Korean society became more equal. This is the Korean War. Korean War started in June 1950. First, North Korea invade South Korea. The red part is North Korean occupation, and the green is South Korean occupations. Okay. First, North Korea's military was dominant. So in a very short period, North Korean the military occupied most of the South Korea. So only small land was left to South Korea. But in this time, the United Nations, allied militaries step in this war, and finally, thanks to the support, international military support, South Korea pushed up the North Korea up to this borderline is the borderline between Korea and China. So we were almost close to the borderline with China. But again, China also decided to support North Korea. Now, Korean War became an international war. North Korea and China is one group. South Korea and the United States and the UN allies military is the other group. So this is the international war. Okay, it is very similar to the current war in Ukraine and Russia. It is the international war, right? So this Korean War lasted for 3 years. During that, more than 1 million citizens were killed, and most of infrastructures and the factories were destroyed. This is the causality or the loss of lives in the Korean War. Next, about the foreign aid from the United States. As I said, in this period we received a large amount of the foreign aid from the United States. Then Korea was the largest foreign aid recipient in the world from the United States. So let's take a look at the dependence rate on the foreign aid. In 1954, aid to GDP ratio is 11%. After the Korean War, this ratio increased to 23%. It means that about 20% of Korean GDP came from the U.S. foreign aid. Okay, so now, which region is the largest recipient of foreign aid? Maybe African countries, right? Because African countries are the poorest in the world. African country is receiving large amount of foreign aid. Nevertheless, their aid ratio to GDP is less than 3%. Only 8% is 3, okay, even if it is high. But in Korea, the ratio was more than 20%. You can know that how dependent that the Korean economy was on foreign aid, okay. So the foreign aid played a very important role. So foreign aid was the main source of basic consumption, and also using foreign aid materials, we invested in some sectors. Then main component of foreign aid in this period was the materials, raw materials, not giving cash. Okay, U.S. provided the material to South Korea. What kind of the materials? First, raw cotton. Okay, raw cotton was grown in the United States, but there was oversupply of raw cotton in U.S. market. So U.S. market wanted to remove such a oversupply of raw cotton. So they provided the raw cotton to South Korea for free. It was the foreign aid. Another oversupply item was wheat, okay? So, and the milled wheat, so flour was provided to Korea as a foodstuff, okay? And raw sugar, and sometimes the rice, okay? So after receiving raw cotton and the flour, okay, wheat, and the receiving raw sugar, Korean businessmen or the Korean government wanted to process these materials into product. Okay, so using raw cottons, what can we make? Textile, clothing, right? Using raw sugar, we can make the refined sugar, okay? Or flowers, with the wheat, we can make flowers, okay? And make foodstuffs, okay? So using those 48 materials, first we developed small industries, basic industries, food industries, and the textile clothing industries. And yes, food and clothing industries. So cotton, let's think about the colors of these materials. Cotton, what's the color of cotton? White. Flour, the same, white. Sugar, white. So in this period, the most developed, although it's a very basic level, developed industries were all white. So they were called three white industries: sugar industry, cotton industries, and the flour industries. Okay, that was the main industry in 1950s. They are most basic industries for our survival. Okay, clothing, food are basic survival industries, right? And the processing process is very simple, right? Simple processing process. But in this period, the Korean president strongly demanded the United States to provide the investment materials, not consumption materials. They are all consumption materials, right? What is the investment materials, like the machines, where the raw materials for productions, where the energy resources, where the like that, okay, or technologies. But U.S. denied, no, we will provide only the consumption materials. It is a kind of the removal of oversupply materials from the United States. But also U.S. thought that the South Korea could not develop its industries because very poor technological conditions and there is no skilled laborers and the no infrastructures. So in that sense, United States and the world society was very negative or pessimistic about the Korean futures industries. They believe that there is no hope of industrialization in South Korea. Okay, but nevertheless, those consumption materials was helpful for Korea's combat with hunger, right? But it had also negative impact. That was the corruption. Aid is free, right? So government has a right to distribute these aid materials to private sectors. Okay, that is the government right. So government can be easily involved in corruptions. Okay. So, but nevertheless, because the few industries were not developed, even these aid materials provide the chance for startup of business. Okay, so using those chances, the current big companies developed. Good example is Samsung. Now Samsung is a semiconductor producer or mobile phone makers, right? But what is the first sector of Samsung? That was the food. Food and clothing. Using raw sugar after getting the material from low sugar from the government, they refined as sugar and then sold them at the market. Also, using the raw cotton, they manufactured the clothing. Okay? So Samsung started with food and clothing. Do you know the CJ Group? Yes, CJ is famous for the food industries, right? Why the company is called CJ? CJ is, the original name is 제일제당. The first C and the first J, it became CJ Group. What is Jedang? Jedang in Korean, Jedang means making sugar. Making sugar. Jail is the name of the company. Jail company to make sugar using this low sugar. Okay? So CJ is separated from Samsung Group. At first, CJ was a part of Samsung Group. Now it is independent, separate group. Okay? So CJ Group is also famous in entertainment like the film makings. Okay? You can think that how dynamic Korean industrial development is. At first, they started very basic industries. Now they are doing the creative industries and the food industries. Not only the local food, but also worldwide known food industries. Okay. And another business chance came from the Korean War. Because of the Korean War, all of the infrastructures were destroyed. Okay, so road was destroyed, then the bridges was destroyed. After war, those infrastructures should be reconstructed, right? So strong demand for reconstruction. Okay. Who took the chance of reconstruction demand? Hyundai Group. Do you know this one? Hyundai. Do you know the Hyundai Group? This is automaker, car maker group, right? Many Hyundai cars, right? But its first business was first. He's the founder of Hyundai Group. His name is Jung Ju-young. He was born in North Korea, and yes, he was born in North Korea, and he moved to South Korea to make money. He was born in a very poor family, and one day, his father sold cows at the market, and he got cash. This guy, Jung Ju-young, stole that money, father's money, and came to South Korea and started his business, a small business. The first business was the retail of rice. Okay, and then he started the small car repairing shops, small car repairing shops. Okay, so through those industries, he made a certain amount of money. Using that money, he started rice retail business. And then after Korean War, he changed his business to the construction. So Hyundai Group's, the first main industry was the construction. Okay. Also, he had experience of a car repairing center. He started a car making business, very small shops. So they couldn't make engines, or they couldn't make the cars. Only they repaired for the U.S. soldiers' cars. Okay, so and then slowly expanded and expanded, and now the company became the fourth or the third largest automakers in the world. Okay. So the key is that 14.8, it was very small. Nevertheless, it provided a large business chances. A few businessmen utilized the chances. Based on those small start, now they became world-class big companies. Okay, they are. I explained the Jebel groups. Jebel. Okay. So in this period, the economic policies, there was no meaningful economic policies. Okay, the economic policy was very unstable, suddenly changed. But in this period, we had the multiple exchange rate systems. Multiple exchange rate system means that the there is official exchange rate. Okay, this exchange rate was fixed. Also, there is a market exchange rate. Exchange rate is the transaction ratio between local currency and the U.S. dollars, right? So even if Korean government announced the fixed exchange rate, but at the market, the real exchange rate is much different from the official rate. Okay, so in this way, two rates are greatly different. And so regarding the trade policies, the very strict import restriction, okay, very high tariff rate, and for the most of the items, the import was not allowed. Why? First, the reason is because shortage of dollars. For import, we have to pay in dollar, but dollar is short. Okay, so government prohibited the import in most of commodities. If the import is a necessity for survival and the industrial development, like energy, it was allowed. Okay, but for instance, the car, impossible to import the foreign cars. Okay, because then we thought that car is luxury product. Okay, not allowed. And export, then Korea has no competitiveness in export. So government never thought about the expansion or promotion of export. We have no technology. We have no competitiveness. Okay, so promotion policy is not necessary because no possible items for export. Let's take, so in this period, the economic growth was very slow and the growth rate was very unstable. Here, 1950s, Korea's GDP per capita here, GDP per capita, as you see, that less than $100. Less than $100, Korea's national income level is. Now, currently, Korea's national GDP, national per capita income is around $35,000. $35,000. Maybe your country's GDP is around the 4,000 or 5,000. In this period, Korea's GDP was less than $100. Okay, so Korea was the poorest countries in the world, even poorer than most of African countries. Also, you can find that no meaningful increase in GDP for 10 years. Almost the same, right? Economic growth rate, yes, this is the growth rate. Growth rate, 5%, 4%, but here negative percent, 60s, just 1%, okay? So stagnation in income per capita and the low saving and investment rate. The saving and investment rate is here. National saving rate is around 10%. Next one is inflation. Let's take a look at inflation rate. Inflation rate is always 2 digits, where the 20% or 30%. 20 or 30% inflation is a very high inflation rate. Do you know your current inflation rate? Maybe around 4 or 5% maybe, right? In Korea, 30%, not 4 or 5%, not 3%, 30%, okay? International trade here, this is export, in US billion dollars. This is import. Import is almost 10 times more than export. Okay, so large trade deficit. Always import was much bigger than export. Okay, so overall, economy was very unstable, high inflation, slow economic growth, and the large fluctuations, and heavily dependent on foreign aid. This is the economic structure as a percentage of GDP. Agriculture, industry, and the service sectors. Agriculture accounts for almost 50% of GDP. Okay, so agriculture was a dominant industry. Purely agriculture society. Industry, just 6%. Just 6%. The rest is service. Okay, service means the very poor service. Okay, usually tradings. And the export items in 1961. Let's take a look at the main export items. Iron ore. Okay, and tungsten. This is the mineral. Raw silk, where anthracite, this is coal, squid, fish, graphite. You can find that there is no industrial product. Always the primary product or natural resources were export. Okay? Okay, this is the first period. So this first period is a kind of the the state building. State was not all. Yes, sure, we had a state, but the state power was very weak. So we was at the stage of state building, stabilized, and politically unstable and corrupt. There was a student protest in 1960. So students became very unhappy, were very angry about the elections. They thought that election is unfair, and the election results were fabricated. So students came out to the street and protested against the government. To this protest were the pro-democratic movement, the police and the soldiers were mobilized, and they killed the student. So about 200 students were killed at this protest. But this protest spread to other Korean people, as the more people gathered together and demand for the step down of the president. Finally, the first president stepped down and left Korea. Okay, so that is the story of 1960. So after this kind of the student movement, we expected democratizations, but in 1961 there was the military coup. So this military coup was led by a general soldier. His name is Bok-Yeong. He became the next president. He ruled from 1961 through 1979 for 18 years. His policy was to prioritize or to put the priority on economic development. Okay, our first goal is to develop our economy, to industrialize our country, okay, and to remove the poverty. Okay, he was a very strong person. Using this catchphrase, economic development, he wanted to legitimize his military coup. Politically, he is not legitimate because he was not elected. And he introduced the 5-year economic development plans. This is the nationwide, the first economic plans, mid-term economic plans. And the government intervention in economy was very strong. Government actively managed the economy. Okay, so he didn't want to keep the economy unstable. Okay, because he was from soldier. He wanted to make all of the society and all of the economic systems to operate as a military, very in organized ways. So let's take a look at his economic policies. First, this new government adopted a big devaluation. Devaluation means that increased exchange rate. Here, this is the official exchange rate in 1950s. As I said, the official exchange rate was fixed at 50 per dollar, 50 Korean won per dollar. Okay, it stayed at 50. But since the military coup, or since the new government start, exchange rate increased from 60 to 130 to 200. Okay. What was the impact of this big devaluation, where the sharp increase in exchange rate? This devaluation, where the big increase in exchange rate, was helpful for export. Usually, when a country wanted to promote its export, very possible or popular policy is to increase the exchange rate. When the exchange rate is high, then your export product can be cheaper at the world market. Cheaper means that affordable, where it can have more price competitiveness because it's cheap. Okay, so barrels are more sold. Okay, so this big devaluation was good for Korea's export. And also, he introduced export-import link system. It means that if you export to world market, then you are allowed to import something. Okay? By matching your export amount. Why this license of import is important? Why is valuable? Because if a company imports something and then sell those products at the local Korean market, they can make a lot of profit. Because at international market, the price is cheap. But in Korea, because of the shortage of supply, the local price is very high. So they can get the margin between international price and the local price. The margin is a profit of importers. Okay, so all of the companies and the businessmen wanted to get the import license, but this import license was allowed depending on his export amount. So this is a big incentive for export promotion. Okay, and also export credit was supplied to companies. Okay, so if a company proved the export performance using the export contract, okay, if a businessman bring the export contract to the bank, then the bank provided credit loan to that companies. And then the interest rate is very low. Okay, so in this period, Korea's interest rate was very high because of shortage or lack of money. Okay, so lack of money means that local saving is very small. So available financial sources from bank was very limited. So small supply of credit, but very strong demand for credit. So supply is small, but the demand for credit is very large. So the price of credit, what is the price of credit? That is interest rate, okay? So interest rate was very high. This is a credit market. Credit means that bank loan, simply bank loans, okay? Supply curve is here. Supply of a credit is very small, but demand is very large. So this is the price of credit, that is interest rate. So interest rate is very high. Okay? So all of businessmen want to get the cheap credit, but the cheap credit was only allowed to exporters, exporting countries. That is export credit. Okay? So these all three policies were very advantageous to exporting companies, big incentives for exporting countries. So the policy direction was to promote, expand the export. Why? This new government adopted export promotion policies. First, because of lack of foreign currency. Okay? Only when they have the foreign currency, means the US dollar, they can import something, right? To develop industries, Korea has no technology to make machines. Okay? So to develop industries, we have to import the energy resources, oil and coal. Korea is not oil producing country, right? All of oil should be imported. To import those materials, we should have dollar, but there is no dollar at safety box. How to get the US dollar? By exporting something. To make more export, government provided big incentives, like this incentive. Okay? That is the first reason, the shortage of US dollar or international currency. Second, in this period, US government decided to give a big favor to poor countries, particularly Asian poor countries, including Korea and Taiwan. Okay, so Korea and Taiwan and Singapore and Hong Kong all adopted American-style economic systems, not communist, not socialist, right? So Korea, the United States actually wanted those countries to develop economically, so gave great export favors. Okay, U.S. opened their market for those countries. Very low tariff rate, very no import quota for product produced in those countries, in Korea and Taiwan. Particularly textile market or clothing market were opened in the United States. Okay, to utilize those chances, Korean government gave these incentives for export. Okay, so very internationally good chances, the environment was made. Let's take a look at the performance. There was a dramatic increase in Korea's export in this period. Export in early 1960s, just a 2-digit, 30, 40, 50, but only 10 years later, 1,000. Okay, $1,000 million. Okay, more than 20 times within only 10 years. Export growth rate was 30%, 40%. Every year, export increased 30% or 40%. Okay? So, in 1960, the share of export in Korea's GDP was just 3%. But export share steadily increased. In early 1970s, export percentage increased to 20%. So in this way, Korean economy became very fast dependent on export. It means that only by exporting more, our entire economy could grow. Okay, so Korean economy became very export-oriented, or the export-dependent countries. So, main driving force of economic growth was export. So, here, 1960s is characterized by export promotion policies. Okay. What were key export items in this period? Yes, textile, garment, and the wig or plywood, wood product. Plywood. Textile was processed from the raw cottons. Garment, using the textile, clothing were manufactured. Wig, you know the wig, right? We had no resource for manufacturing, but everybody has the hair. Using the hair, we made a wig. And also, we exported plywood. You know the plywood? To make the plywood, we need trees, big trees. But in Korea, yes, we have trees there because not so many trees. But then in 1950s, Korea has a lot of mountains. But in the mountains, there are only few trees. There were only few trees. Why? Most of trees was cut down for firing, for warming, house warming. Okay? Then there was no oil and no coal. All of the heating was based on wood. Okay? So Korean local wood couldn't be used for plywood. So wood materials should be imported to manufacture plywood. What country provided or the export the wood material to Korea? Your country. Your country. So Borneo Island, okay, exported a lot of wood to Korea. Using those trees, we processed to plywood. So all these export items were labor-intensive product. No high technology is necessary. No large amount of investment was necessary. Okay? Only what was necessary was cheap labor, and they're only working hard, working long hours was necessary. Okay? So usually Koreans, very diligent, work hard, and they work for many hours in a day, and without holidays they worked. Okay? The quality of labor, yes, they were very disciplined. Okay? And particularly female workers were a very important source for Korean economy. In Korea, in the past, not now, in the past, there was serious gender discriminations. Always the boys went to school. Yes, sure, the female or the girls also went to school, but only at the elementary school level. After completion of elementary school, they didn't go to middle school or high schools. Most of young female, particularly born in rural area, went to the city and get job. They worked at the textile or garment factories. Okay. So labor-intensive industries, and also those products are low value-added products because low skill, very low technology levels. Value added was also very small. So using the Korea's cheap labor and the long working hours, we achieved cost competitiveness at the world market. And also, U.S., as I said, provided a lot of trade favors to Korean product. In this period, the labor's working condition was very poor, very, very poor. Working hour is very long, and the working condition, the air condition was very bad. A lot of dust inside of the factories, and there is no break times, even no holidays. Okay, so young females had no time for spending its salary, although the salary is very small. So most of the salary was saved, and the saving was sent to the hometown, and using the hometowns, and the boys could go to school. And the labor and the human rights was not protected. There was no right to organize the labor unions. It was illegal. Okay? So if the labor is organized, they were regarded as communist. Okay? So in this period, communism was the key enemy of Korean society. Okay? If you read about the communist books, you could be jailed. If you take the search on communist textbook or the document, it is illegal, or you can be taken as the espionage of the North Korea. Okay, so labor union was not allowed. Legally it was allowed, but actually not allowed. So a lot of internal labor movement were the migration, population movement from the rural to urban. So in urban area, in Seoul or the local big cities, a lot of new inflow of population from rural area. But the city was not prepared to absorbing or accommodate those people. Okay, very poor housing conditions. In a very small room, 5 or 6 young females work together. Very, very small rooms. Okay. They changed the sleeping hours. 2 or 3 young female slept at night, and another 2 or 3 slept at daytime, because there was the circulation of the working hours. Okay. Fast urbanization and the urban concentration, very poor over the urban infrastructures. So urban poverty and the poor urban infrastructure was a very serious social or economic issues. Okay. This is the main export items in 1970. Textile. Textile accounted for about 40% of the total Korean export. Main export item was textile, 40%. Wig and eyebrow, 12%. Plywood, 11%. Electronics, small, there is only 3%. Okay, so here the key is that first, very strong export promotion policies. The performance were very good. Okay, export growth rate was almost 30 or 40% every year. Okay, but those achievements was based on the cheap labors and the very long working hours, and the sacrifice by the young females, and at the very poor working and the housing conditions. But economic performance was very good, and the Korea economy fast grow and fast industrialized. But the sector was only in labor-intensive industries. Okay, so now Korea have to upgrade its basic industries to more developed sectors. Okay, the next change, this change or the upgrading will be explained tomorrow class. Okay, thank you. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, enjoy your lunch. Okay, here? Okay, please come forward for group photo.